Hi guys, it's Daniela here from Grand Your Life with DZ, and today I just wanted to talk about soul contracts. Um, an event recently happened in my life that I wanted to share with you, as well as quite a vivid, intense dream. Um, and I thought it would be timely to discuss my understanding of soul contracts and um, just how our souls work, really. This also ties into the dream that I had. So it was my birthday last week on the 10th of February. Um, and unfortunately, it was I'm not sure what the word is when you have the positive and the negative occurring on the same day. Obviously, I was celebrating my birthday and trying to enjoy that day, but we also had some um, devastating news that my husband's best friend, best mate, my husband is from New Zealand, and his best mate lived still in New Zealand, um, down in Bluff, which is the very bottom point of New Zealand and sort of below Invercargill. And his best mate was our best man at our wedding. So, he was very close to him. And a couple of days before my birthday, he heard that he was in a downhill mountain bike riding accident. His friend was a very big outdoorsy type of person. They actually owned an outdoor sort of hiking and ropes course business where children would come and do camps and things like that. And so that was his life, is do, conducting adventures outdoors and encouraging others to have adventures outdoors. Um, and he was someone to really aspire to, both him and his partner. And unfortunately, he ended up breaking his neck at the C1 level. So that's the highest level in the spine, and it severed the spinal cord, and he couldn't breathe on his own. So he was taken to hospital and intubated and was breathing on with life support for a couple of days. But his family knew that he wouldn't have wanted to live that way, and his life support was taken off, and he passed on the 10th of February on my birthday. And I know my husband was devastated. It's the most sort of emotional and devastated that I've ever seen him. And I had said to him that I do believe, genuinely believe, that our souls, never die. Our souls are our spirit, our connection to source, and we're in this physical vessel, in this physical body, but we continue to live on and incarnate into the next body or the next life. It could even be not even a body, it could be other life forms, um, a cat, a dog, a tree, anything that's sort of living. And it could be on this planet, on Earth, or it could be on other intergalactic space areas or planets or realms or even different dimensions. It could be even the same space time. It could be the same, like on Earth, but a different dimension or different timeline. Because I also believe that we're fractals of, we can have fractals of the soul, and that our souls are fractals of source. So that's source energy. So it's difficult to understand, but that because time is not linear and time is a construct that it's been embedded into our minds on earth, that it is linear, that there's a past, a present, and a future, and they can only occur in that order. But through different experiences that I've had with, whether it's past life regression, whether it's just my own intuition, whether it's dreams, whether it's look, a lot of it has to also do with the studying of Delores Cannon's work, and I recommend that if you haven't looked into Delores Cannon. She was based in, to my knowledge, Arkansas, in America, in the US. She was started off with past life regression and ended up developing the QHHT, so quantum healing hypnosis technique. I hope I've got that right. And um, throughout so many, hundreds and hundreds and like thousands of these QHHT sessions, let's call them past life regression sessions, she put together that people from all walks of life, all different ages, all different cultures, all over the world would be presenting the same information as she sort of put them under hypnosis. They would be presenting the same information. They never met each other. They never knew each other. And how were they explaining the same things to her that were happening to do with either their soul or what happens in between the death of a body, and then what does your soul do? Um, and they were all saying the same thing. So she collated that information, and she's written many books, and there's a lot of videos that you can find on YouTube. She has a Facebook page. She's passed now from the earth plane, I think maybe 5-10 years ago, and but her work continues on, and she has a daughter that continues with the work, and many practitioners that have studied her modality. And so I was very fascinated by that, because I found that to be very evidence based, that if people are coming to her and she's conducting these sessions and they're saying these same things, they don't know each other, and 100 or 1,000 different people have said the exact same thing, the same words, the same events, all of these things. She's putting these pieces together, and she did this work for over 50 years or so. I don't know the exact dates, the exact numbers, but it's so fascinating. So if you've never had a look at Delores Cannon's work, I really recommend that you look her up and watch a few of her videos, or if they entice you, then have a look at her books. But I was saying to my husband that I really believe that um, his friend chose this path. It was his soul contract. I believe that it's our soul contract. We make these contracts before we incarnate into the body. On, for example, who are our parents going to be? We choose the parents. What children are we going to have? Or they choose us, we choose them. It's all decided in advance. How are we going to die? At what time are we going to die? Or there might be a couple of different options. It could be A, B, or C, but it really can't. It's not going to deviate from that. Also, it would be like the hardships or the trauma that we're going to face. So we might say, okay, let's place ourselves in this particular body where they're going to be part of some childhood trauma. Or let's place ourselves in this body where through the birth process and the birth canal and everything, there's going to be some significant trauma. Or let's place this person where they have this relationship and it completely breaks down, and it's very traumatic and devastating. Likewise, it could be the achievements or the positive things that a soul or a person experiences as well. So these soul contracts are agreed upon, I suppose, in the dimensional realm that is not on earth, for example. So whether you want to say, some people call about that being heaven or source energy or just in another realm. And the souls usually are part of a family. There's a soul family. So that soul family it often is, it could be your parents, your children, it could be some best friends or whoever it is, and they might be all part of a soul family. And along the lines, that soul family often incarnates together and helps each other with soul lessons. And so often you might meet someone that you've never met before, and you might think, wow, they seem so familiar. And that might be because you're part of that soul family, or you have a soul contract with them, or you've been sisters or brothers or mothers or fathers or whatever in another life. And so I said to my husband, he was doing something that he loved, and his life ended doing something that he loved. That was a beautiful soul contract in a way, because so many people go through life and they're just slogging it out and working their office job, or I'm not saying that everyone who works an office job is not enjoying themselves, but they're not necessarily doing what they love and their passion and putting, everything into their heart and passion, and he was. And, his life can truly be celebrated as a beautiful life where he has lived his soul. His soul has lived to the fullest, and maybe he learnt lessons that he needed in his life already, and then maybe perhaps the people that were left behind were ones that had soul contract with him that needed lessons. Those lessons might be grief, loss, all of those sort of things, in terms of his family members or partner, friends, and things like that. And that's the same with any event in life, I really truly do believe that there are these soul contracts, and if you look at it that way, it can really assist in dealing with grief, loss, trauma, heartache. It can help with gratitude. It can help. It's I suppose it's like, why are some people really successful and have heaps of money and abundance and that sort of thing, and others don't? And it really just depends on their soul lessons and their soul contracts, and what were they incarnating for that life? What was the lesson? What were the lessons that they needed to learn? Did they need to learn that they don't need material things to have abundance? Do they need to learn that, gratitude for the things that they have? And it might be in all different lives, in all different dimensions, in all different parts of our soul that has incarnated, that we experience everything. So ups and downs, lows and highs, and sometimes we might be the abuser or the abusee. It depends on each life that we're learning the different lessons. I also think that, well, I'll tell you a bit about the dream that I had. So if we're talking about souls, and I suppose that leads on to also astral travel. So if you understand astral travel or believe in astral travel, it's where the soul, I suppose if you want to say in sort of layman's terms, is sort of rising out of the body, but it's not necessarily doing that. But your soul's ability to, usually in sleep, but it can be out of sleep, remote viewing it's often called, but your soul is viewing and traveling and able to meet with other souls and have experiences, and often remembered as dreams. Sometimes your dreams, you don't really remember, or sometimes you have a dream and you think, yep, had that dream, but wasn't that vivid that you're going to really remember it. I dream a lot, but every now and then I have these very, very, very vivid dreams where you wake up and you're thinking, well, that was very lifelike. That's like I was experiencing that. I was in that movie. I was doing that. And it was the night after our friend passed away. He came into my dream. It was so vivid, and he didn't know that he had passed. And we'd had a conversation together, and I was saying to him something like, oh, isn't it interesting that he's got the same name as you? And we were talking about the person that had passed, but he didn't realize that was him. And on reflection, I look back at that and think to myself, that was his soul, I believe, a little bit trapped, a little bit lost, and hadn't sort of passed on, hadn't left the earth realm, hadn't left his body, or was still embodied a little bit, or it wasn't moving on. And so I assisted him in this dream, or in this astral travel, and I took him on a little journey down the street, and at each sort of block we met some different people that were in his life, whether it was family members or friends or whoever, and he was giving them a hug. I was assisting him to give them a hug. It was like he was then releasing, and then he would move on to the next person, and after all the people, it was like his soul was at rest and he was able to move on. And I've been told by many psychics and other healers and so forth, that in my dream, when I'm dreaming, or in my dream state, a lot of the time I'm assisting souls to pass on. And I had some very vivid dreams or insights or memories or recollections, intuition, several years ago when I do believe there was a lot of children rescued from underground tunnels. Um, I was helping them to pass on as well, and I was experiencing such emotion with them. Um, it was very, very intense, um, emotional based work, and my soul was assisting the children's souls to move on when they had passed. Many of us are often doing this at night time. Sometimes you might wake up and think, why do I feel so bruised and battered in the morning, and what have I done? I haven't done anything. Why does this body part hurt or whatever in the morning? I'm not saying that every physical injury is related to astral travel or what you're doing in your dreams, but a lot of it can be, and it's worth considering. Um, it could even be that you're absolutely fatigued. You wake up thinking, why do I feel like I haven't even slept? And it could be because you've been really, your soul has been working. So you've done the day shift and you've done the night shift. And if you're doing that, you're a superstar. So many light workers, many empaths, many star seeds, many evolved souls um, are doing this at night. And so just have a bit more of a reflection on soul contracts and the fact that we can never, our soul can never die, um, not to have fear. Our soul is here to evolve and grow and learn, and hopefully that you can have comfort if you have any grief or loss in your life. It can assist you, because I know it definitely assisted me, and I think that it did assist my husband when I explained that to him. Enjoy your day, and please place any comments below of any experiences that you've had with soul contracts, anyone that's told you about soul contracts, or any soul contracts you think that you do have, and any soul lessons that you think that you have or have learnt. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.